Hey everyone, it's Madison from Page Doodling and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be setting up my August 2022 plan with me. I'm so excited to share this with you, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm using my favorite brand of notebook, Archer and Olive. It has this adorable little dog print on the front because it reminds me of my sweet pup Gus Gus. If you are interested in making a purchase, I have a coupon code for you down in the description box. So my theme for August is jellyfish. I decided that I wanted something tropical to go along with the summer weather we've been having, and I thought jellyfish was a perfect theme. This was a theme I had done quite a while ago, back when I first started bullet journaling. But that was before I did these elaborate monthly setups, so I had only done one weekly spread that had jellyfish on it, and I really wanted to extend it and kind of make it a whole monthly theme. When picking my color palette, I knew I wanted something along the cool colors theme, so whether that was purples or teals, I couldn't decide between the two, and I finally ended up on purple because I have a few of my really favorite Tombow markers are purples, and I am using them all in this spread setup. So I decided it would be really fun to kind of do a very monochromatic theme using only these purple colors and a few grays and blacks to keep it very simple. So now that I'm starting to add color, you'll see that I start with kind of the lighter purple first on the jellyfish, and then I layer on the darker purple to kind of add some shading to the jellyfish. Because I was only using a few colors, I had to kind of add different layers of the colors to make it look and give it more depth. This is something I kind of experimented in my setup from last month for July with the waves that I did in my setup, so I'll link that above if you guys want to check it out. But when you layer a lot of color like this using the same color, it just kind of makes it more darker and defined and kind of gives that definition, and I was really happy with how it turned out. Now we're moving on to the quote page that I always do next to my cover page. I really just like to have a quote because I think it's fun. It's really completely unnecessary, but I like it and I do like to see it throughout the month, and I chose Go With The Flow because it made me think of jellyfish and how they kind of just float around with their tentacles in the ocean. So I thought it was fun. I also added a lot of these little bubbles around to kind of make it look like bubbling in the water, just to kind of give it a little bit more so the page wasn't so blank. And I was so happy with how this first spread turned out. You'll see I kind of did a darker jellyfish for my cover page and then some lighter ones for my quote, and I kind of decided to do that just to add a little bit more so each jellyfish didn't look identical. Next up we have my monthly calendar, and I'm first going to grid out the calendar for the month, and I do my boxes 6 by 6. That is just what works best for me. It gives me enough space to write my number at the top and then any events that I have for the rest of the month. And then I did the jellyfish down at the bottom. They're kind of hard because they have their long tentacles, and so I decided to just kind of do the tops and let their tentacles kind of hang off the bottom, and I was very happy with how it turned out. And I just did my own calligraphy font on the side there to do August. And now I'm adding on my numbers. I always like to do a strip of color at the top of my grid box just so I have a place for the number, and it just adds a little bit more color to the page so it doesn't look so boring. And now again I'm starting to layer all those purples together, and you'll see some of them end up a little bit darker and a little bit lighter, just like I said, to add some variety. And I added in a little bit of a darker purple on the bottom there to add some shading, and really I just played around with layering the colors until I was happy with what they looked like. So it was really fun to experiment. I've never been one to kind of experiment with like layering marker color like that really, but it's been really fun to kind of practice that during this spread setup. Next we have my mood and habit tracker, and I'm just doing simple titles at the top. I really like to do this simple bubble font that I do here, where I just basically write in my print the word that I'm doing, and then I outline it with my Micron pen, and it looks like a bubble letter because I have a hard time drawing bubble letters. So that's the way that I do it, and it's just really easy because the Tombow marker is so thick. So for the mood tracker, I decided that I didn't want to draw 30 individual jellyfish, so I decided on 3, and I just kind of split their tops into the number of days for the month so I could color in a little sliver for my mood every day of August. And again, I just added some tentacles along the bottom and some of those cute little bubbles around to just fill in the page a little bit. And since I will only be filling in the tops, I decided to color in kind of their bottom tentacles so that was already done, and it will be a complete picture when I finish filling it out at the end of the month. I was very happy with how that turned out. And of course I have my little key down at the bottom. I use 4 colors just because that's kind of the range of moods that I usually experience, and that's enough for me. I did have more at one point, but I decided it was just too many and too overwhelming to remember which one was which one. But I draw those little smiley faces in there as our little reminder for me. Next is my habit tracker. I have enough space for 9 habits. That's just about how many I have per month. And I draw this little grid pattern that I fill in every day when I complete one of my tasks. And I also do write the day of the week up there just to help me keep track of what day we're at, but it's pretty simple. Next up is my 2 lines a day, which is my form of memory keeping. This was not my idea. I took it from other people on the bullet journal community that I've seen do it, but I enjoy doing it. I may, at the end of this year, change it up. I think I'm getting a little tired of having to write 2 lines a day because I did start this last year. So it's been about 1.5 years that I've been doing that. And it's fine, it's just kind of getting a little cumbersome to keep up with every day. But I still do it because it's, it is a good time to have a little bit of reflection on my day and just think of all the good things that happened. This time I added a few little jellyfish up at the top and added in my numbers. I like to kind of vary the colors when I write the number, just again to give the page a little bit more interesting. It looks really plain now, but at the end of the month when I have all my journaling on there, it is completely full, which is kind of fun when a whole page is full of all of your writing. So that is one thing that I do like about this. And my last setup for this video is going to be actually my first weekly spread. I will be setting up the rest of my weekly spreads on Instagram, so be sure to head on over there to follow me. I set them up as reels so you get to see what I'm doing in real time. My handle is @phdoodling21, so be sure to head on over there. I'm doing my very simple box layout for this weekly spread setup. It's my absolute favorite. I basically just do a box for each day of the week and then 1 box for the weekend combined. And then I have plenty of room on the side to do a task list, which are big tasks that I will be doing or need to complete throughout the week. And then of course adding a doodle to make the page interesting. I just did this one little jellyfish down at the bottom. And you can see here I'm kind of highlighting the tentacles, or I'm going over them again with my black Pigma marker just to make them stand out a little bit more because there's so much going on at the bottom. When I outlined them, I just really liked how they looked because it made them a little bit more defined. I was so bummed that I didn't include any washi tape in this setup because that was one of my goals for this year, was to use more of my washi tape in my bullet journal setups, but I really just didn't have any that went with this color scheme. I had some purples, but they were more like pink purple and not like blue purple like these purples were, so I unfortunately didn't include any, and I didn't really have any black or white either, so oh well, I tried, but maybe next month. So there's that completed weekly spread, and then let's go ahead and take a final flip through for my entire setup. This was a really fun theme. I hope you enjoyed it. It was perfect for summer. I just love how the tentacles sway down. I'm hoping to do a tutorial on how to draw the jellyfish, and I'll hopefully be posting that on Instagram. So like I said, be sure to follow me over there so you can learn how to draw a jellyfish too. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I love getting to share my creativity with all of you. Thanks for watching. Happy doodling.